Joining me now, Attorney General William Tong. Thank you so much for taking a couple minutes to come chat with us.
Thanks, Emma.
So we know, of course, nobody has a crystal ball. There's no way to really predict what's going to happen in this election. We know what polls say. There's always discussion, but still we know that anything can really happen. And we know at your office, you're directly dealing this when it comes to legal prep. What does that look like ahead of elections?
So first of all, I'm focused on Connecticut, and I know Connecticut is going to be boring. If I have a boring election day, that's a good day. I know the Secretary of the State is ready, the registrars, the town clerks. So I think Connecticut's going to be pretty seamless. I mean, I'll be at the ready. But I think we also know that no matter what happens on November 5th, on November 6th, because of what we saw in 2020, lots going to happen around the country.
Right.
And all heck's going to break loose. And my colleagues and I, mostly Democratic attorneys general, are very concerned about election challenges because of what we saw in 2020.
Right.
We're concerned about the threat of violence, and we're ready for it.
There's already been discussions, as you just brought up, of potentially not accepting election results. When you say you're ready for it, what does that look like? How does the office prepare?
So we've been in close communication with our colleagues across the country because, again, in 2020, there were challenges all over the country, and they went up to the Supreme Court.
Right.
And unfortunately, we had a standoff with our Republican colleagues in the Supreme Court. Thankfully, the U.S. Supreme Court did the right thing in that moment. They basically dismissed the case and held the union together. And what they said and confirmed is what we all know, which is elections are safe, they have integrity, and they're reliable, and they're accurate in this country. And we want to make sure that continues to be the case, even if people look on X, on social media. Obviously, the former president is casting doubt on the results, not just of 2020, and he's never accepted those results, but he's casting doubt now in advance in 2024. So we're ready for all of that. But I can't tell you how it's going to hit us, where it's going to hit us, in what state, in what court. I can just tell you that we've seen this movie before, and we're ready.
Right, being proactive.
Yes.
And your office is constantly dealing with the push and pull of state versus federal laws. It's something we've talked about before. We know Connecticut has been in and is in plenty of lawsuits, whether it comes to, healthcare laws, gun control, cannabis, reproductive rights, what have you. The American map of policies really looks so different now depending on what state you're in. We have seen some unprecedented Supreme Court repeals. Residents and lawmakers have told us they are concerned about what could happen on a federal level, even though they might feel safe or feel confident in Connecticut's state laws. They might feel like they might be dismantled by, federal laws with this election and all these fears and questions. What do you tell people, the residents of Connecticut? What should they know about our state laws?
They're right to be concerned.
Yeah. We
have strong state laws, particularly, for example, on reproductive freedom and choice and a woman's right to decide what happens to her own body. And that's enshrined in our law, and it's very strong. But no doubt things are happening in other states like Texas, where the Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton has gone into court to try to get access to medical records and healthcare records of women who are looking to get reproductive health care and maybe get an abortion outside of Texas. That could implicate women and doctors and nurses and healthcare providers here in Connecticut. So we're very concerned about that. I've been to Texas. I've seen what it looks like today, and it's really scary. I've been to a healthcare clinic in Texas that, a little more than 2 years ago was bustling and full of people, not just getting access to reproductive health care and abortion, but regular checkups, mammography, gynecological checkups, healthcare that they couldn't get somewhere else. But now that place is empty. It's closed. It's boarded up. It's shuttered. That's really scary, and nobody should think that just because we have strong laws here in Connecticut that we should be any less vigilant and any less in the fight. I'm very much in that fight in Texas because it impacts people here in Connecticut.
And is that what you would want residents to know, that you, as Connecticut's Attorney General, are in that fight?
We're in all of those fights, on reproductive freedom and choice in abortion, on immigration, in all of those, in protecting our taxpayers here in Connecticut, and protecting our environment and our clean air and clean water. I'm in every single one of those fights.
No matter who ends up in
That's
the White
right.
House or in, the federal delegation.
And frankly, we don't always agree with people of the same party. And so sometimes if it impacts Connecticut, no matter what the issue, if it impacts Connecticut adversely, we're going to take action.
Well, Attorney General Tong, thank you so much as always. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.